All right, so today we are continuing what we did yesterday. So in the chapter, this is day 7, but on this particular section, it's day 2. So we're still working with absolute value inequalities. We are still following the same 3 steps we followed yesterday. So you got to get the absolute value by itself. Then you write the inequality. Less than is going to be an and inequality. Greater is going to be an or inequality. You have that in your notes from yesterday. If you want to add it again, that's just fine. Then we are going to solve and graph the final answer. Questions? Now, since we've already done this for a whole day, I'm going to let you try each of the 6 problems. Then we'll do them together. So go ahead. You got about a minute. I'll give you a head start. Then I'll start working and we'll see if we agree. So this one is already isolated. The absolute value is already by itself. This is a greater than or equal to symbol. So this will be an or. I have 5x plus 6 greater than or equal to 4. Or what? The second one's the harder one to write.
5x plus 6
less than or equal to negative 4. So you switch the symbol, the inequality symbol switches, and the sign changes. Now, you solve these 2 separately. How would I solve them? Minus 6 minus 6. So we have 5x is greater than or equal to negative 2. Divide. I get x is greater than or equal to negative 2/5. Or, same thing over here. When I subtract 6, though, I think this side's going to work out a little neater. So 5x is less than or equal to negative 10. Divide. So I have x is less than or equal to negative 2. When I graph this, which one is farther to the left on my number line? The negative 2. The negative 2/5. I am going to have to fill these both in. I want less than negative 2, so that's this way. I want greater than or equal to negative 2/5, so that's that way. And then you just sort of double check. It's an or. They're going away from each other. So the spot on the graph, or the spots on the graph where one or more is true, is the exact inequality that we just graphed. That is our answer. Questions? So what type of problem will this be?
Less than.
It's an and because it's a less than. So my first inequality looks like what?
2 over 3x plus 7 is less than 11.
And what?
And
2/3x plus 7 less than negative 11.
Is greater than
Oh, yeah.
negative 11. Good. All right, solve these separately. So minus. 2/3 x is less than 4. And then we have to multiply by the reciprocal. So 3 over 2. Gone. 3 over 2. X is less than, you are correct, 6. And on the right side, same idea about the minus 7. But now we get negative 18. Adam, keep the negative sign. Same idea. We got to do the reciprocal. 3 over 2. So that's what? Negative 9 over 1. So what do you get? X is greater than negative 27. To graph this, I need a number line. The negative is obviously the one on the left. The positive is down here. These are both open circles. I want to be greater than the negative 27, but less than the 6, and it's an and problem. So what needs to be true? Both. Where on the graph are they both going to be true? In the middle. And this is where we write our answer a little extra fancy. What's my answer going to look like? No.
Which is less than 6.
All right, I heard a couple of you mumble it. Yes, 4 ands. We're going to be extra fancy, okay? We're a little, a little full of ourselves, a little uppity. We are going to get rid of the word and. We're going to write it as one big inequality. Yeah, the graph is part of your solution as well. Getting a little antsy in between examples here. Calm down. What are your questions? I'll find the graph. All right, here is number 3. Try it. Word of advice, be careful. All right, somebody ruined it. Thanks a lot. What should I do?
Subtract the 12.
Yeah, you got a minus 12, minus 12. Shh. Chill it out. I know you're excited. I'm excited too. Okay, what is 8 minus 12? Negative 4. Did you keep going or did you stop?
I stopped because I know that.
I would stop here. Who wants to explain why you could stop here? Yes, go on.
Because all positive numbers.
This is basically saying like a positive number. So that red box is always positive. A positive number, any positive number at all, is greater than negative 4. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. And then, the 4 is negative, so all positive numbers are always going to be greater than.
So that's
numbers.
always going to happen.
Right.
No matter what you make the x, those are always going to be positive.
Hello.
So what's my answer?
Can we just write that ARNT?
Questions? So, how do I start this one? Okay, if you've been talking with your neighbor about how to do it, now it's time to come back with the class. So yes, we are going to subtract 3 from both sides. 15, then what? Divide both sides by 5. Absolute value of 5x plus 7 is greater than 3. Greater than is what type? Or.
Come on, guys.
Greater. So 5x plus 7 greater than 3 or
5x plus 7
less than negative 3. Perfect. All right, so we're going to subtract 7. We get negative 4. So x is greater than negative 4/5, or this one works out the nicer of the two. All right, when you go to, oops, I'm behind the little symbol. Let me pull these up top. All right, so this is what I came up with. Now, let's see if it works out on a graph. Then I'll be confident. So which one's farther to the left? Yeah, the negative 2 is farther to the left than negative 4/5. All right. Negative 2's inequality goes which way? It's less than, so it goes smaller than negative 2 would be to the left. Greater than negative 4/5 would be to the right. Is that a standard looking OR?
Yes.
It is, so I am good. Questions? All right. What do I do first? Yeah, you got to get the absolute value by itself. Multiply both sides by 2. Absolute value of 2 plus 3x less than or equal to 10. Less than. All right, so 2 plus 3x less than or equal to 10. And what?
And 2 plus 3x is greater
Greater
than
than
or
or
less?
equal to 10.
Greater than or equal to negative 10. All right, power through these. Yeah, minus 2 minus 2. 3x less than or equal to 8. Divide 3, divide 3x is less than or equal to 8/3. And minus 2 minus 2. 3x greater than or equal to negative 12. Divide, divide. X greater than or equal to negative 4. Boom. Let's graph these. All right, negative 4 is to the left of 8/3, right?
Yes.
Okay, open or closed?
Open.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah, it is closed.
Closed.
I saw what thinking about it.
I can't take it. Okay, closed. All right, I want greater than or equal to the negative 4. I want less than or equal to that fraction. And this is an and. So I'm looking for what part of the graph? Both. So you just shade right where the overlap happens. All right, time to get fancy. How do I write the answer?
Negative 4.
Negative 4.
Less than or equal to?
Less than or equal to
X,
which is less than or equal to 8/3. You guys are getting it. Questions?
No.
All right. Okay. So there are 2 ways to arrive at the correct answer here. One of the ways is to see that this is an and problem. And when you graph the solutions, I don't even know what they are, but you will get a graph that looks like this with no overlap at all. Okay? You cannot have an and with no overlap because there is no spot on the graph where they're both true. That's the long way. The shortcut way is to remember that this side of our inequality is always what? Positive. And I feel like when I'm saying it's always positive, I'm lying. It could be 0. All right? But even if it was 0, 0 is less than or equal to negative 2. Is that true? No. Or any positive number ever is less than or equal to a negative number. Is that going to ever be true? No. That's why this one is no solution. On the previous example where we got all real numbers, it was a greater than symbol. So all positive numbers are greater than a negative number. That's always true. That's why it was all real numbers. Here, it will never be true. That's why it's no solution. All right, I'll leave that up there for a minute. Let's do our summary real quick. Today we learned. We actually reviewed. Reviewed or recapped. I like it. What did we review, recap?
We recapped that we don't meet the cap.
What? Today we
Solving absolute value inequality.
Very good. Solving absolute value.
Shawn does that every day.
What?
You reread what the title is.
Okay, now we have some extra time today. I want you, since we've just finished our notes packets, to glance through them. If you have a page that is blank, that means you need to find that video tonight and watch it, okay? The chapter has ended. You should have it all ready to go. You have a test next Wednesday over the whole chapter. You have a quiz on Friday over the second half of the chapter.